Alright, so I'm super excited about this video. Tried to get all artistic with the composition of the car in the background, but it's not really working. Small garage problems. Anyways, so this video is all about 0 to 60 times. Now, a little bit about my car. It's a 2012 Hyundai Genesis 5.0 R-Spec. The fastest time that I've been able to do in this car is a 4.8. And the car is pretty consistent. I can do a 0 to 60 10 times, and 9 times out of 10 I can get a 4.8. A little bit about the mods that kind of affect this test. The only really thing is that the rear tires are 30 millimeters wider than stock. So stocks are 245 in the rear. I have G80 Sport OEM wheels, which are a 275. So that's pretty much the only modification that I've done that could affect this kind of test. So the fastest time that I've done 0 to 60s in this car, like I said, is a 4.8. And that was on a nice warm day. If I can find the screenshot, because I can't really prove it, I didn't really film it back in the day. But it's a 4.8. If I can find it, I'll put it right here somewhere. And that was around, I don't even know, like say 80 to 100,000 miles. Now what makes this video special, and these videos special in my opinion, is that my particular car has over 140,000 miles. So this is a good test to see if there's any drivetrain loss, any power loss over the years. I did a bunch of 0 to 60 times, and it was a little on the cooler side. So I was having a little problems gripping up. It was about like 35, 40 degrees out. So just keep that in mind with these tests. So I'm gonna walk you through kind of the footage. Halfway through, something happened with the big camera, which was mounted on the sunroof. I couldn't see the screen, so when I hit record, it didn't really start recording. So halfway through, you're gonna lose that kind of angle. Subpar YouTuber problems. I'll fix it moving forward. So here's kind of the first attempt, a mild kind of attempt at it. Traction control still on, no launch, automatic mode. So in the upper left-hand corner, you're gonna see fastest ET and last ET. Those two numbers are kind of rounded. If you look in the bottom right corner of dash command, you're gonna see the actual time. For the sake of this video, we're gonna use those numbers. And also, I didn't know if I mentioned this, but I'm using dash command with a cheap OBD2 reader to time these runs. So again, just kind of a warm-up attempt. First run of the day, 5.1. Here's the second run. So slight launch for the second run, traction still engaged, still in automatic mode. We had a little bit of drama from the traction control, but it kept us going, and we were able to hit a 5.0. Next run, traction was off, kept it in automatic mode, did a slight launch around 1,000 RPM. Traction off, little launch. Here we go. Traction cut. So traction off, we launched it at about 1,000 RPM, a little bit under. As you can see, even with the traction control system off, we had a lot of drama, cut power, and ruined that run. So here's the next one. Try it again. Traction cut again. Again, traction cut. Like I said, it was a chilly day, so I was having trouble gripping up in the rear. So here's the next run. Slight launch, traction off. Traction off, this time in manual mode. We launched it at about 1,000 RPMs, and again we hit a 5 seconds flat. So here's the next one. Traction off, slight launch, manual. So a little bit better of a time. We kept it in manual, traction control off, launched it again at 1,000 RPMs, modulated the throttle, and we were able to hit a 4.96. So getting better. Here's the next one. So obviously this is where the big camera stopped recording the windshield, out of the windshield angle, but luckily the GoPro on the dash still was recording. So this one, again, traction off in manual mode, launched it again at about 1,000 RPMs, and we were able to hit a 5 seconds flat again. So here's the next one. So this one I got a little overexcited, launched it at 1500. Obviously, it was too much for a launch and lost traction, and traction kind of cut power for us. So here's the next one. mild on the launch, launched it again at 1,000 RPM. We hit another 5 seconds flat. Here's the next one. So again, we launched it at a little over 1,000 RPMs this time, traction off in manual mode. And we got our worst time of the day. I'm not sure, maybe it was a little uphill, I don't know, but it was a 5.3. So here's the next one. So we launched it again at about 1,000 RPM, traction off in manual mode. We hit a 5.1 again. So pretty consistent, a 4.9 to a 5.1. That's all I can ask for. Consistency is key, especially for a car with this many miles and this age. So quite happy with these results. Here's the next one. So again, we launched it a little over 1,000 RPMs that time, and we were able to get a 4.96. So again, pretty consistent. Just keep in mind it was chilly that day, 35 to 40 degrees. So we were having issues gripping up. So here's the next run. All right, we're gonna launch it a little harder this time. So we launched it a little bit harder, as you heard. It was somewhere around like 1,300, 1,500 RPMs. No drama from the traction control system, and we were able to hit a 4.94. So we're getting better. So here's the next one. All right, we're gonna do the same kind of launch, a little harder, like 12 to 1,500. Manual traction off. Little wheel spin. So we launched it at about like 1,400 RPM. Again, traction off in manual mode. We hit a 5.15, and that was with a little wheel spin, as you may have heard. So here's the next. 4.9 with a little bit of wheel spin. So this was an interesting one. We launched it at about like 1,400 again, with a bunch of drama from the rear tires not gripping up, but we still managed to hit a 4.93. So getting close to that 4.8 mark. Here's the next one. I don't think we're gonna get better than 4.9 on a chilly day. 1,100 RPM launch that time. We hit a 5.03 again. So here's the next few. All right, we'll do one more, try to beat that 4.9 or even the record 4.8. We'll launch it a little harder this time. So that time we launched it the hardest, which was at 1,500 RPM. As you can hear, we had no drama from the rear tires. That's just an indication of the tires getting warm from all these runs. And we were able to hit a 4.96. And here's the next one. Got it. So that time again, we launched it pretty hard, just a little under 1,500 RPMs, and we were able to get a 4.84 with no drama from the rear tires. And this is probably because from all these runs, the tires are warming up, therefore giving me better grip. So 4.84, really solid time for 35, 40 degree weather. Quite happy with the consistency as well. So here's the next one. So again, following that fastest time, the 4.8, we were able to hit a 4.9. So the tires are pretty warm, the car's running consistently. I don't even know how many runs I've done at this point, but I'm pretty confident in 35, 40 degree weather, chilly day, the tires are beginning to warm up. We're starting to see, 4.9, 4.8 seconds, which is correlated to my runs in the summertime. So pretty consistent for a 140,000 mile Hyundai. Happy with the results. So obviously the biggest challenge in these tests particularly wasn't the age of my car, the mileage of my car. It was launching a car with dedicated summer tires in 35 degree weather, which is a pass of a test if you ask me, because for this one I just wanted to see at 140K how consistent can the car run 0 to 60s, not necessarily how fast, but I was quite surprised that we were able to get 4.8, 4.9s at 140K, whereas, you know, my fastest time ever with considerably less miles in the summertime when it was actually warm on fresh rubber, we were able to get also 4.8. So pretty happy with that. As you can see, the car is running like a top. The motor's healthy, knock on wood. The car has been running great, and no complaints. I'll have all the numbers over here of each run, and we're gonna average out the time at the bottom so you can see that. Also, I'll put the number of runs that we did because I'm not even sure. We did a bunch. So with that being said, I definitely want to revisit this video, do this same kind of video again in the summer when it's actually warm out and the tires don't have as much difficulty hooking up, and then we'll actually see how fast of a time. If I can get faster than a 4.8, that'll be the fastest time that I've ever done in this car since I've got it. So, and I think there was one magazine that did a 4.7. I'm not entirely sure who, but they were notorious for doing 1 foot rollouts. Like I said, and I'm not do it from a dig, from a complete stop. That's a true test, because that's all literally driver mod, launching it and all that. So if I can revisit this and do a 4.7 in the future, I'll be stoked. So, and by then it'll probably have over 150,000 miles on it. Along with those tests, I want to continue to do it with dash command, just because all of the tests I've ever done on this car were with dash command. But alongside dash command, when I revisit this video and do these 0 to 60s again in the summer, I want to acquire a Draggy, just because I'm sure it's way more accurate than this dash command. And I've had a few subscribers actually reach out, and their testimonials of a Draggy is very high. So I definitely want to get my hands on that when I do this again. So any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below, and I get pretty much back to every comment unless you're a jackass. So that's it for this video. I do have a few Genesis related videos in the queue, so look forward to that. I know a lot of you guys have missed the Genesis content, and I'm excited to get back into it just for, you know, while there's no supercar stuff going on in this crazy time. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Look forward to those videos. I don't know, maybe I'll drop them all in 1 week. We'll see.